I'm Ankita Saxena. With me is Ashesha Advaryu in the next half an hour. We'll take you through all the top buzzes in the trading session on the back of news flow or on the back of technical charts. But before we get going with the show, we'll first quickly take a look at how the market is shaping up at this juncture. As far as Nifty is concerned, that is up and away almost 1%. In fact, it's maintaining the uprise. Though we have turned very sideways at this point, as you can see, there has been no sell on rise. In fact, we are trading above the 23,980 levels, though we are facing a bit of a resistance because we have not managed to scale those 24,000 levels as yet. As far as Nifty Bank is also concerned, similar moves coming in. 1.7% gains coming in, almost 1,000% uptick coming in on Nifty Bank. 55,000 is where Nifty Bank is sitting at. Let's take a look at the broader end of the market as well. You have Nifty Midcap that is trading with gains of almost 0.7%. Small caps also trading up 1.4%. So small caps is a place where a lot of action is coming as of today. But let's talk about the sectoral indices also. Most of the sectoral indices, all sectoral indices in fact, are in the green. FMCG has turned very, very marginally red right now. Very marginal cuts of 0.1% coming in as far as Nifty FMCG is concerned. But it's the PSU banking pack that is leading from the front, whether it's a Canara Bank, a Union Bank, PNB, UCO Bank, Indian Bank. All of them are trading with gains of 2.5+%. Nifty Realty is also doing well with gains of 1.4%. Whether it's in ABREL, Oberoi Realty, Godrej Properties, Lodha, all of them are trading with gains of more than 1.5%. Auto, in that pecking order, 1.3% gain coming in Nifty Auto. Also, remember, Eicher Motor was an earnings candidate. It posted a good set there, and on the back of that, that stock is up and away 5.5%, and the entire auto pack is doing very well.
All right, so that's how the market setup is looking like this afternoon. But let's get going then and let's discuss all the stocks that are in focus. We now have Rupak De, Senior Technical Analyst at LKP Securities on the technical side. Rupak will come to you in just a bit, but before that, let's talk about Eicher Motors from the auto sector, which is doing very well for itself in trade today. The numbers were in line, but the management commentary, especially on demand and capacity expansion, is very positive, because of which the stock is sitting with gains of 5.5% as we speak. As far as Royal Enfield demand is concerned, management says that they are bullish on premium bike demand. Urban and rural India demand continues to remain very healthy. Fourth quarter commodity impact has largely been mitigated, so there has been no impact on that front. And as far as VECV segment is concerned, they implemented about 2% price hike in the fourth quarter. Raw material cost inflation has been to the tune of 300 to 350 basis points, but diesel hikes have been largely passed through for operators, and there has been no negative impact on that front either. So very strong management commentary on demand and raw material inflation, because of which the stock is up 5.5% in trade today.
All right, let's move on to the next counter that is that you picked out for us, Rupak. You picked out the MV Photovoltaic. That stock is up and away 10% in today's trading session alone. You see this positive momentum to continue, and what are the levels that you're watching out for?
Yeah, definitely. I expect the positive momentum to continue in the short term as well as in the mid term. So previously, it had a significant rally. Then there was a downwards consolidation. Then we are seeing the stock rising from its recent consolidation, and also it is sustaining above its all the critical moving average. So I think the momentum around the stock might remain positive, and I expect the stock to move towards 330 in the short term, whereas on the lower end, I expect the stock to get support at 270. If the stock falls below 270 and decisively sustains below that level, then there might be some reversal in the rally.
Right, so that's MV Photovoltaic on the charts. Let's move on to other buzzers. Jupiter Wagons and Titagarh Rail both are buzzing in trade. Firstly, on Jupiter Wagons, their ARM has signed formal MOUs with Chaluka Power and Pickering New Energy. Now, the agreements add 110 megawatts of battery energy storage system to the business. And besides that, we also have shares of railway company Titagarh Rail Systems and Texmaco Rail as well that have rallied as much as 10% after a report said that the Indian Railways is preparing to launch a mega 40,000 crore rupees tender to procure 1 lakh freight wagons over the next 3 to 4 years. On the back of that, all these railway stocks are buzzing up and away.
Well, yes, possible order wins is why the entire sector is buzzing in trade today. But let's also put the spotlight on Torrent Pharma. This counter is also reacting to strong numbers that it reported. Revenues have come in at about 4,200 crores, which is an increase of 42% on a year-on-year basis. EBITDA saw a jump of 40% and margins too have remained steady at that 32% mark. Now remember, in the quarter gone by, company's generic semaglutide launch was the biggest highlight in the fourth quarter. That was a strategic development. On the flip side, we have India revenue, which grew 43%. Core torrent business, excluding the JB acquisition, grew by about 15%, which is significantly ahead of what the industry reported in the fourth quarter. So clearly, across the board, it's a big beat across parameters. India growth has been very strong, and that is the reason the stock is holding up to gains of nearly 2% as we speak.
All right, moving on from Torrent Pharma to the next one that you have picked out for us, Rupak. You picked out Dixon Tech for us. Tell us, what do you see for the last 5 odd days? It's rallied 7 odd percent. Do you see the up move to continue, given that it has seen considerable consolidation in the last 6 odd months?
So lately, the stock has been showing its strong momentum, and on Friday, the stock has broken above its previous swing high on the daily time frame, and also the stock has moved above its critical moving average. The momentum around the stock is looking very good with the support of rising RSI with the bullish crossover. And I feel that the stock might move towards 13,000, 14,000 also in the short term. And stop loss can be placed below 11,000.
All right, let's move on to the next counter in focus, Sterlite Tech, that has advanced 5% on subsidiary securing a multi-year contract worth $1.1 billion from an international hyperscale partner. This is to supply optical connectivity products for the AI-ready data centers through March 2029. And on the back of that, look at Sterlite Tech. That's locked in the upper circuit with gains of 5% right now.
Okay, so that's Sterlite Technologies for you. Continues to trade with gains today. But on that note, we need to slip into a very short break. We'll discuss many more buzzers on the other side. Market Fatafat, the show where we discuss all the stocks that are buzzing in trade. And let's now put the spotlight on Parth Medi. The stock is in focus on the back of an acquisition where the company said that they will acquire V3 Healthcare for about 177 crore rupees. Now, V3 Healthcare operates super specialty hospital named the Medicity Hospital. The proposed acquisition aligns with expanding into high potential and under-reserved markets. The company will acquire an initial 80% stake in the target entity, expected to be completed by the 31st of August this year itself, and the balance 20% stake will be acquired after 31st March 2030. The acquisition is expected to strengthen the company's presence in North India and drive long-term growth through integration synergies and capacity expansion opportunities. So on the back of this, we have stock which is gaining nearly 7.5% in trade today.
All right, let's move on and get a management on board who's now joining us. Manoj Kumar Dubey, who's the CMD of IRFC, is now joining us. Hi, Mr. Kumar. Thank you so much for joining us today. Ms. Dubey, how does the Hyderabad Metro refinancing fit into...
Dubey, thank you so much. Congratulations once again, and thank you for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now and helping us understand what this Hyderabad project actually means for you. Thanks so much for joining us today. All right.
Thank you so much.
That's all the time we have on this edition of the show. Thanks so much for tuning in. More news and updates will continue on the other side.